I went out and bought a collection of comic books. They're all over my room right now. You guys could probably see these stacks of comics back there on my desk. See that? There's a stack right there. There's some stacks over here behind this box too that you can't see. I got a whole short box of stuff right here. I went out and bought a collection, folks. It's the second collection I bought. The first one was much smaller. It was about, I don't know, 150 comics. For those that have watched my channel for a long time, what's something that I always say? I don't sell comics. The only time I really sell comics is if I have doubles. So when I bought that first collection, I think it was earlier this year. I sold some. I actually made almost, I think I made my money back, which was awesome, but I kept most of them because they were books that I didn't have. But anything that I already had, I sold. There was a few that I didn't really care about that I sold as well. I went out and bought this collection and I kept a ton of it. There was a ton of Marvel team-ups that I didn't have. There was, and then, you know, there was some stuff that I already had. If it was a better grade, I upgraded the books that I had in my collection. And then I'm going to sell the rest and hopefully make some money back. So here's the thing, though. I represent Journos Comics as a brand. Journos Comics is a YouTube channel, but it's much more than that. I've always, since, you know, for years and years, before I even went to college, I thought about owning my own comic book store. It's always been a dream, one of them. And it's always been something that I know I would enjoy doing outside of how tough it is, especially these days, to, you know, be profitable and make something like that last, right? So, but I've never been like a flipper. You know, I'm you guys know me. I mean, I just hit over 19,000 comics in my collection on my app, my CLZ app. I am a hoarder. I'm a collector of runs. And that's never going to change. I mean, my style, you know, what I'm searching for changes a little bit here and there, but I'm always going to be that type of collector. But I'm learning how to evolve, and I'm learning how to take money, how to invest money in seeking out comic books in bulk. That way I can get comics to fill my runs and then still have some to sell that I can recoup my money or maybe make a little bit of profit and go buy some more comics or help support my channel in some way, right? Right? So I went out and bought this collection. I had recently picked up one of my holy grails, Amazing Spider-Man 101, the first appearance of Morbius from A1 Comics, my local shop that you guys know I support. In this collection was another Amazing Spider-Man 101. So what did I do? I said, well, shoot, I could put one up for sale and make a little bit of my money back. And I had people, and this was another old friend of the channel, come into my comics, say, didn't take you long to sell your personal grail. I know what you're insinuating. I know exactly what you're insinuating. So I had this idea. C to the G. What's going on, man? I had this idea of making a live stream and entitling it, I'm a sellout. Because no matter what I do, no matter what any YouTuber does, once you get a little bit of success, you can't pull away from the haters. And I've already had that happening with the success of my channel and the subscriber count and all that. And what's the next thing that they're going to point fingers at? The fact that I sell comic books. Prime time, what's going on? The fact that now I have comic books for sale. Now, here's the thing. I've always had pride. I've always prided myself in this. And I'm not knocking any YouTuber that does this. It is a fact. It's a fact that if you are a big dealer and you have a YouTube channel, it's going to get you views and subscribers. And I'm going to throw some examples out there. Well, we know Comic Tom is like, that's what he does. His with Mill Geek, and his dad owning a comic store, and what he does with his mystery mail calls. He has an online store. That's his brand. He's not just a YouTuber. But Very Gary is someone who's built his, much respect for Very Gary. I love what he does. Sometimes it's not necessarily for me because he does a lot of slab stuff, and that's not necessarily what I would like watch. But he's built a following on YouTube, and a lot that's helped him build that is the fact that he is a dealer of comic books. Bryce Comics is another one, and I have mad respect for Bryce Comics. I love his talking points, and he's a big dealer, especially in graded comics, and it helps viewership. I mean, hey, if somebody's doing a huge CGC unboxing, a lot of people like that stuff, and I get it, and I'm not hating on that. So don't mistake what I'm saying here. I'm just using those as examples. I have nothing but respect for all those people. I like what they do, and their viewership and subscribership is well deserved for what they do, because they're not just a YouTube channel themselves. They are a brand. They're a dealer. They're this, they're that, whatever the case may be, right? People do need to chill, Dom. So I have always prided myself, though, on the fact that I've had my channel for a good few years now, but I've only been doing it seriously for less than 2 years. Journos Comics has been a brand for less than 2 years. And I have built my viewership off of not selling a single comic book. And I pride myself in that. It means something to me, because I just know how harder it is to do this without selling comic books or having an influx of high dollar books that you're not high rolling necessarily, because you're out buying Avenger #1 and giant size X-Men #1s for your personal collection. You're buying them as a dealer and then selling them and making a profit and flipping them. But even though they're in your hands temporarily, you can show them on your YouTube videos and use that as awesome videos to get viewership in. And that's great. I haven't done any of that. Ronnie boy, what's going on? But here's what the point I'm trying to make. Now, I want to grow Journos Comics as a brand. As Comic Demon says, I sold 2 comics this year. It felt I lost a part of me. Comic Demon, I used to feel like that all the time. So now that it's a balance, but the balance is that you buy collections in bulk and you have comics that you already have, and you could feel okay with letting them go. That's for me anyways. But I was saying, I want to build Journos Comics as a brand. And part of that brand is selling comics. But what's the stigma? What's the stigma? As soon as you get success as a YouTuber, or if you're selling comics, here come the conspiracy theories. You're a sellout. You're a sellout. And the irony about this is, what makes me any different than if I was an LCS owner? Because the same people that are going to call me a sellout and call Comic Tom a sellout because he does mystery boxes and sells comic books, the same people that rag Very Gary for selling comic books, they're the same people that you should support your LCS. What makes your LCS owner that's selling comic books any different? And in this day and age, your LCS most likely has a YouTube channel. It blows my mind how people think. I don't get it. Because this is the thing, folks. You could go. I started Journos Comics YouTube channel because my kids, almost 5 years ago now, my kids said, hey, Dad, make a video showing off your comic books, because they were so into YouTube videos of people playing Minecraft games and doing stuff like that. They wanted me to make a YouTube video of something that I loved. And we all love comic books. And I did. And for a few years, I just had fun with it and made a few video here and there. I didn't take it seriously. But here's the thing. You could go back to that first video I ever did. And although I didn't necessarily know how do I talk about comics in front of a camera? I've never really done that before. Outside of that, I have not changed one bit. And I never will. And you guys can hold me to that. 9K. I'm at over 9,000 subscribers right now. I don't care if it's 9K, 19K, 59K, 90K. I will not change who I am and what I stand for on this channel. It's about transparency to my viewers and my supporters. That's what it always comes down with to me. So, because I think it speaks to the brand that I want to build, and it speaks to the viewership that I want to keep.